I was driving home from handball and coming through Salem, and I passed right by the entrance of my old camp while I was in Salem. So it's raining right now, but I'm walking over to check on my old camp. I left it intact. I had anticipated that it would hold up because it was tied in pretty sturdy. I'm living closer to where I do my job, which is homeless outreach for a company, now in the woods, but I'm closer to the road. I actually built it out so that I can drive my truck right up in there. I didn't expect to work while doing this, but I figured if I can use my skills to help people, it's better than traveling around asking questions. And I guess the point of this is to really outline, the addiction crisis and homelessness and the mental health crisis that we're experiencing and the causes thereof. So I really wanted to do something that was meaningful. So I chose the job, which at this moment I'm having some struggles with because the partner we brought in, who has no education or training or experience the clinical side of addictions and mental illness, tried to spread some misinformation to get me fired. So I don't know if I'll have that job. I did some videos. I was upset about it. I mentioned too much about the organization I work with and the situation, so I might be holding off on posting those. I've been quiet lately. But now, after being out here on a barren landscape in the winter, living out here, it's interesting to come back and take a look at it when it's all green. I've really kind of adapted to living outside. As I've said in my writing, I'll still live my life and try to be as healthy as possible. I'm not going to force myself into a state of suffering and depravity, but it is doable. And understanding that, and working with homeless people as closely as I have been, and understanding the mental health issues, addiction being the main one, I see how people get caught in that cycle, feeding an addiction like an opioid addiction with the fentanyl and the silazine they're putting in it. It's an all-day job. It's debilitating. So, I guess the simple answer is homelessness that you see now is just a symptom of addiction. And there are people that have severe mental illness, but the amount of resources that go to trying to get people off the street that are addicts really dilutes the ability to help those who need the most help, that are caught out on the street. Everybody's competing for resources. It's a natural process. It happens in nature. That's what's happening on our streets. But me just coming out here to kind of like take a look at the place where I laid my head in the icy conditions of winter, it really is, nostalgic. I don't even know the word for it. But it really feels beautiful. The rain's abating. I really love this spot. I could hear noises because I'm close to civilization, but I was far enough away where I was isolated. There's always some level of fear, like when you're sleeping alone out in the wilderness, exposed. I'd always have my weapons with me when I slept, even to this day where I sleep outside. you know, I am isolated from people for the most part, but I'm always afraid that something could happen. I sleep good, you know, but you know what would happen if someone snuck up on me while I was sleeping, attacked my tent, maybe oh, and there she is. I was gonna say maybe like a whole team of coyotes. So the back tarp has been ripped off of my tent. How that happened, I don't know. I had to resurrect this tent when the snow crushed it. It looks like it's been crushed. You come around. It's beautiful out here. Everything's growing in. I love the spot. You can see, just nestled in there, hidden away. And then this is how it is, you know, like urban survival, I guess. Something I've become pretty adept at. You can see it. Everything seems to be holding up. Although the tent wasn't in the best condition. I left it devoid. I remember walking out of here. Oh, those are my gloves. It's an air mattress I left in here. I did leave some stuff here in case I needed to come back. The wind has blown it around a little bit. You can see there's some mold on these gloves here. I'm not going to salvage them. But yeah, it still stands, but it's not as... I wonder why it's crumpled here. Caused it. The wind must have blown it. But yeah, it's still a little place that somebody could sleep. I'm not going to rebuild today. I don't need to be here right now. Although the homeless problem has been growing in Salem. I've seen the tents over by Wendy's. Anywhere you can get drugs, you have a homeless problem. This fentanyl is all up in our streets. You know, if you got to use fentanyl every day and smoke crack and whatnot, you know, you're not going to want to pay for a place. So this is America today. You know, and this is what I'm living this year. It's homelessness. Just surviving, you know. Maybe I'm not your run-of-the-mill homeless person. Maybe I choose to be homeless, but you know, homeless I am. And I'm seeing how people survive and how they live and how they make it work. So this is kind of how I've done it. I like to isolate. I tried living with Michael and his encampment, and it wasn't long before my tent got slashed and they were fighting in there when more people moved in. Try to make a community, and it was a fucking nightmare. And that's what people are living. Either they're grouping together and they're acting animalistically against each other and, you know, fighting for the resources and the drugs, or they're isolating and they're doing their best to make it day by day. So I don't know, that's where I'm at. Just a little of my little hidden enclave. And if I feel like it, this is, in my opinion, my spot, and I'll rebuild if I want to. So everybody have a good day.